All right, today we're talking about something pretty extraordinary, the Global Sumud Flotilla. It's this civilian-led mission that's sailing right now to challenge the long-standing blockade on Gaza. So let's get right into it.
Just imagine this for a second. A fleet of activists, on boats, sailing straight into some of the most contested waters on the planet. They're packed with humanitarian aid, and they're charting a course directly for the Gaza Strip, a place where tensions are always high.
Okay, so let's get you right up to speed on what's happening now, because this isn't some future plan, it's already underway. So, on September 13th, after a ton of prep and some serious delays, the Global Sumud Flotilla finally set sail from Bizerte, Tunisia. And get this, it's a direct shot. No stops, they are on their way. And this is a quote from Al Jazeera's reporter Hassan Massoud, who was right there on the scene. He really captures the momentum of this moment. Think about that. They were already traveling for 2 whole weeks just to get to their final departure point in Tunisia. Now, the real critical part of the journey has begun. Now, the organizers have been super clear about one thing from the get-go. Their stated goal? A non-violent attempt to deliver humanitarian aid. That's it. They're trying to open a corridor and get essential supplies to people who desperately need them.
But why, right? Why take on so much risk? To really get it, we've got to look at the context here. And a big clue is in the name of the flotilla itself.
So the name is Sumud. It's an Arabic word, and it means resilience or steadfastness. And that one word, man, it really captures the whole spirit of what they're doing. It's all about being determined and persistent, even when things are incredibly tough. And listen, this isn't the first time something like this has been tried, but the organizers are saying this one is different. They're calling it one of the most determined challenges yet to the blockade. Why? Well, it's the sheer scale of it and the international attention they've managed to get. So what's driving this urgency?
The urgency comes down to this number, over 500,000. That's how many people in Gaza, according to the United Nations, are facing catastrophic levels of hunger. It's a staggering figure, and that is the humanitarian crisis at the very heart of this mission.
Okay, so we've talked about the mission, but who are the people actually on these boats? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. It's a global coalition, and some of the names are pretty well known.
I mean, just look at this list. You've got activists from more than 40 different countries. You have people like Greta Thunberg, the climate campaigner, and the actor Liam Cunningham. You've even got Barcelona's former mayor, Ada Colau, and at least 4 members of the Italian parliament. This is a massive international group. And, that's not by accident. Having these high-profile people on board is a deliberate strategy to draw the world's attention and create some real diplomatic pressure.
And it's working. The fact that there are Italian MPs on board has kicked things up to the highest diplomatic levels. Italy's foreign minister, Antonio Tajani, said he personally called his Israeli counterpart about it. He's basically saying, hey, we've got citizens here and we're watching. This is exactly the kind of international event the organizers were hoping to trigger. And to put a number on that diplomatic pressure, there are 58 Italians on these boats. So yeah, you have people from over 40 countries, but it's this big Italian group that's really forcing the Italian government to get involved and make those calls for consular assistance.
Which brings us to the final piece of this story. And honestly, it's the most critical part, the risk. This journey is incredibly dangerous, and what's happened recently makes that crystal clear. Get this, even before they left for Gaza, while they were still docked in Tunisia, 2 of their vessels were attacked. That's why their departure was delayed. Talk about a tense way to start a journey.
And those attacks aren't isolated incidents. Let's look at the timeline here. Back in May, a vessel was hit by drones. Then in early June, another aid vessel was intercepted by Israeli naval forces. And then just this past week, their main ship, the Family, was hit by a drone on Monday, and another boat, the Alma, was attacked on Tuesday. This isn't just a pattern, it really feels like an escalation.
So that leaves us with the big question, right? With the history of these interceptions and these very recent direct attacks on their own ships, what is waiting for the Global Sumud Flotilla out there as they sail into these contested waters? Honestly, nobody knows for sure. But one thing is certain, the whole world is watching to see what happens next.